Hi everyone and welcome back. Let's complete this example which we started in the previous video. So here we have these three queries: user, post and comments. Okay, and these are the type definitions for user, post and comments. Okay, now the only difference here is now we have started taking the argument as an input, query as a string, right? That means you can pass the username, the post title, and then you can ask for the list of posts matching with this title, ask for the list of user matching with the particular ID or name. Okay, so the question here is how can we accept the argument, right? So we'll talk about it. How in the query and mutation you can pass the argument. Here, every resolver function, either query or mutation function, takes all these arguments, context, and info. Okay, we are going to use this argument object to check if from the query we are passing the query or not. Okay, so here we can just do a simple check. If from the arguments, if we are getting query, if we are not getting query, that means we can just return the users. And now we can also create the mock set of users that will just list of users. So we can create some user list. Either let's create another file here, mock.js. Okay, here we have a list of users and the list of posts, because this is what we are going to return. And we also have a comments, so we can return the comments also. And the data structure is same, and we can simply, I think, export const, and we can import it there, export const user. Right now we can import this mock data, the users, posts and contacts, import everything from our file which is mock. Now what we are getting from here is list of users, posts and comments. Okay, we are good. And in the query, if you are not passing the username, what we are doing is we are returning the list of users. And similarly in the posts, first of all we'll define the arguments here, same as the users, same for the comments, and here also it's comments. I think we can return the list of comments. It's it. So I think now our most of the errors should resolve, because now we are returning the expected types. Okay, let's see what is the error here. Did you mean string? Okay, unknown type. Somewhere we have return string small. Is it? I don't see. I think it is talking about this, and this is required. This is optional. If it is required, then you have to put exclamation saying that this argument is required for the query. And now we can see this is our type definition, this is our resolvers, and our server had started, right? Now if we go to our documents, reload and documents, these are our new set of queries, and here we can pass the name. Let's say what kind of user data we have in the mock. We don't need to worry about passing the argument because we are not handling that right now. We are just saying if argument is empty, if we are not passing any argument. Let's say if I remove this, then that can work. but now this is complaining. Let's say this is the query and it is working fine. Similarly, you can do the posts, like I can add the posts and I will not pass the query parameter. So this is user, this is posts, and I can just submit this query. Cannot return null. Okay, let's see what it is. Users and the posts dot title. Okay, let's see we have title or not in the type definitions. ID title body. Okay, in the mock data, ID title, yes, we do have that information. ID title body. Let's see why this is complaining. Return null for non-nullable fields post dot title. Let's see if I'm just hitting this only. Post dot title. I mean, this is because the title is required field and we are trying to return an empty value. So if I make it optional, then it will start working. But why it is complaining? Let's have a look. Okay, yes, this is the problem. I should return posts here, not users, because I did copy paste. That caused that problem. Now everything should be fine. You should be able to get the posts and comment. That's it, right? But after this, how can I get the nested data? Okay, the user, how can I get the post and comment of a user inside a single request? Now I think this should start working as expected. But if you remember the type post, right? Post is returning this type post and it is having all these attributes. If you see this, it is going to return this post array, and inside post we also have author information. So how can I get the author information? If I just put author here, I can talk about ID. But where this information is going to come from? Author.id. We don't have in the posts, we just only have the post array, right? Which has ID, title, body, published. But how can I capture the author information in the same aggregation, right? In the same request. So here comes our additional types, right? We have till now we have created a simple type, simple queries, users, posts, and comments. But here we can declare the types, okay? Because in the comment, how can you resolve the author information? Because this is a nested type, because it is pointing to another type definition. In the posts, I'm getting ID, title, body, published, but I don't have information about author. So can you tell me how should I resolve the author information? Similarly, in the user, there is a posts and comments. How should I resolve both the posts and comments? I don't have information in the resolvers. So we are going to add that information here. What we are going to do is let's say comment.author, right? So if I want to populate the author information of that comment, then there should be some common attribute I should look for. Let's go to the mock data. Here we have the posts. If I wanted to get the author, there is an author ID, and from the author I can fetch this information, right? Similarly, there is a comment and there is author information, author ID 3. Okay, I can fetch this information here. So we can resolve this data through the resolvers. Okay, when I'm saying is in the comments there is author property which is resolving to the user, but I don't have it. So how can I resolve it? I need to define those types here in the resolvers parallel to the query. So all the queries will be resolved here. But let's say if there is a custom type, how can I resolve post? You can see inside a post type, I think we have author. So how should I resolve author information, right? So for that, inside the posts we have author, and author information, how the author information is related to the parent object. Let's check that out. Here also it is going to, we can pass the same set of argument, and here we are going to use the parent object to get the selected user ID. Okay, and we can simply do, this is important, we can simply do return users.find, and I can just say give me that user where user ID is same as parent.author. Okay, yeah. So let's go to the post. This is our post array, and here we are talking about author, right? So inside a post, we might be looking for the post ID, right? And this author. So what is common there? We are checking for this particular property, parent.author. Means we are looking for that user whose ID is same as the ID of the parent.author, which is available here. So the author property in the post type is resolved. Similarly, we can resolve the other types, which let's say the comment. Inside comment type, we have author property. So it can be resolved in the same way. Comment context users.find and parent.author. Similarly, we have one more use case which is about the user. Here we have a user. In the user type, we have, I think, post and comment both. So how should we resolve these both the properties, posts and comments? So this is posts and another one is comments. There are two properties I need to resolve. Okay, so I'm looking for a particular user information, like let's say you got a user object, right, that has a user ID. So for the user object, what I can do is wherever the author, so I can use this parent ID, where parent.id is same as post.author, because here we are looking for the posts, right? So posts.find, and here also comments.filter. We can do simply filter because we are going to return an array. We are going to return all the posts of that user and the comments. So we can say, okay, give me all the data where post.author is same as the parent.id and comment.author is same as the parent ID, I mean parent user ID. This is the user ID. So give me all the comments where the author is the same user which this parent ID is pointing to. Give me all the posts where the parent ID is pointing to the same author. That's it. And now we can see that in the demo. You should be able to see the nested data like user with the posts, user with the comments, comments with the author, post with the author. Okay, so let's see that in the next video. Thanks everyone.